Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about how inventory is valued. So dear friends, accounting standard number 2 deals with valuation of inventories, and according to the accounting standard number 2, there should be a proper valuation of inventories. Even each companies are trying to value inventory properly and to keep their inventory record in a systematic manner. So a trading concerns may purchase some of the goods for resale, and in the case of whatever goods remain in stock, so that type of inventory should be valued properly. So dear friends, now we are going to learn about meaning of inventory. So sometimes in the case of whatever goods purchased by the company for resale, it is possible that on the last day of accounting year, some of the goods remain unsold. That is called as a goods are in stock. So whatever goods are in stock are called as a inventory and should be valued properly. So whatever final goods are in stock or remain with company, such goods also called as inventory and should be valued properly. Sometimes company can purchase a number of raw materials for the purpose of making final goods or finished products, and it is the possibility that some of the raw material remain unused and which is held in a stock in the company. So in that case, such type of raw material, that is unused raw material, called as inventory and should be valued properly. It is also possibility that some raw material still in process that should be valued properly. Sometimes company may purchase raw material, but if it is not consumed by the production process, that should be also valued properly. And sometimes company can manufacture goods as finished goods and kept in a godown which are ready for sales, but sometimes it is the possibility that some goods are not sold which is remain or in stock. So in that case, whatever finished goods are remain in stock, that should be valued properly. So valuation of inventory is important. So generally question is arise, how stock is recorded in the books. So dear students, it is must for us to understand the stock recording procedure of a company. Generally, the closing stock is brought in the books at the year end through an adjustment entry like this. Means while recording stock in the books of account, we are debiting to stock account, and whatever cost is there, we are crediting it to the trading account. So normally we can use this accounting adjustment for recording the cost of stock in the books of account. And there is a actual physical verification of stock in stock recording procedure. Means store ledger is required to physically verify whatever stock available in the godown, and there must be a proper computation of rate of stocks on a particular date. So dear friends, keep it in your mind, in stock recording procedure of any company, there should be a proper physical verification procedure and there should be a proper computation of rate of stock. So this is the common practice of each company to record the stock in the books of account. And now, dear students, we are going to learn about the system of inventory. So depending upon the nature of company or policy of company, the company can use any one system of inventory, and there are two systems of inventory. So the first system of inventory is called as a periodic system of inventory. Even each company is always trying to develop a effective inventory management system. For that, they can use any one system of inventory. So under the periodic inventory system, closing stock is ascertained by taking an actual physical count of all the inventory items available on hand on a particular date. Okay, and even the quantity of inventory is ascertained from the bin card which is kept in a godown, or whatever goods kept in a box which is in the godown. So storekeeper has to mention the description of such goods on a bin card, and the bin card is always attached to that box, or it hangs into the godown. So there is a physical counting and quantity is always ascertained from the bin card. And in this method, cost of inventory is ascertained first, and then cost of goods sold is ascertained. And for determination of cost of goods sold, we can use a common formula. The formula for finding out cost of goods sold is opening stock plus purchases during the year minus closing stock. So we can use this simple formula for determination of cost of goods sold in the case of periodic inventory system. The another system of inventory, that is called as a perpetual inventory system. So dear friends, this inventory system is a system which is continuously going on, and in the case of perpetual inventory system, closing stock is ascertained not by taking actual physical count, but it is ascertained from the stock ledger itself after each receipts and issues. So whatever receipts and issues are there, if it is recorded in the store ledger, so we can get the value of stock from that stock ledger in the case of perpetual inventory system, and there is no actual physical counting. Value of stock is ascertained after each receipts and issues only in case of perpetual system of inventory, and cost of goods sold is ascertained first in perpetual inventory system, and then cost of inventory is ascertained. And for determining the cost of inventory, we can use a simple formula like this. The formula is closing stock is equal to opening stock plus purchases to the date minus cost of goods sold to the date. So dear student, see, these are the different formulas we can use in different methods of inventory system for the purpose of proper valuation of inventories. Got it? Next, it is must for us to understand the main difference between periodic and perpetual inventory system. The first is that periodic inventory system is based on physical verification, because there is actual physical counting on periodical basis, whereas the perpetual inventory system is based on book record, because there is no actual physical counting. We can record or we can ascertain the value of stock from the store register, that is called as a book record, available in a godown with the storekeeper. And second, periodic inventory system provides information about stock and cost of goods sold at a particular date, because periodic inventory system is done not continuously. It is means actual physical counting is done periodically, and whatever stock is there, whatever cost of goods sold is there, that should be recorded on a particular date only. Whereas perpetual inventory system provides us continuous information about stock and cost of goods sold, because perpetual inventory system is going on continuously. The stock is recorded on daily basis by the storekeeper in perpetual inventory system. And third one is periodic inventory system determines first inventory and then cost of goods sold as a balancing figure. And while perpetual inventory system first determines cost of goods sold and then stock as a balancing figure. So this is the main difference between periodic and perpetual inventory system. Fourth one is, under periodic inventory system, inventory control is not possible because there is a periodic physical counting of stock. There is no continuous physical verification of stock. If company wants to verify the stock, then company may undertake physical verification procedure. So inventory control system is not properly developed in the case of periodic inventory system, because there is no proper control over the inventory. Whereas inventory control is easily possible in the case of perpetual inventory system, because it is a continuous activity. Continuously there is a recording of stock on daily basis. Whatever receipts of goods are there, or whatever issues of goods are there, that should be recorded in the stock ledger properly. Okay. And number 5, that is closure of business is required in periodic inventory system, because when company wants to physically verify the stock, so company needs to stop some business operations. Whereas inventory can be determined without any stopping the business operations in case of perpetual inventory system, because it is a continuously going on. So there is no stopping of business activity in the case of perpetual inventory system. So dear students, see, this is the main difference between periodic and perpetual inventory system. Now the question is arise, how inventory is valued and what are the methods available for valuation of proper inventories within a company. So dear friends, there are 3 methods of valuation of inventory. So the first method of inventory, that is called FIFO method, means first in first out method. And second method of inventory valuation is called LIFO method, that is called last in first out method. And third method of inventory, that is weighted average cost method. So now we are going to learn about FIFO method and weighted average cost method. Okay, so this is the simple image of inventory valuation methods, that is FIFO, LIFO and weighted average cost method. Got it? Let's see the FIFO method. FIFO stands for first in first out. So first in first out method lays down, or it has a basic rule, that is whatever material come first in godown are issued first. So based on first come first out basis, the FIFO method can be used, or in the FIFO method we can issue the goods those are come first in the godown. And because of this rule, issues are always valued at the oldest rate only in the case of FIFO method, and even stock is always valued at a latest rate. So this is the benefit of FIFO method. Got it? And then FIFO method is very simple to compute or to record. So normally storekeeper has to record whatever issues and whatever receipts are there. Just he record whatever issues are there as a units, rate and price. So it is very simple method than the other method of inventory valuation. And this FIFO method is more suitable in the case of perishable goods. those having a less durability period. And in some cases FIFO method is not suitable. For example, in case of cement bags, the cement bags put one on the another bag, so in that case it is not possible to issue first whatever cement bags received first. So in that case the issuance of cement bags as per FIFO method is not possible. So in that case we can use another method of inventory valuation. Okay, and the second method of inventory valuation, that is weighted average cost method, and we can consider or we can calculate average cost of material while issuing the goods as per weighted average cost method. So cost of each item is determined from the weighted average cost of purchases or produced during the period. So whatever receipts are there and whatever issues are there, that should be recorded properly in store register, and if there is any issue of goods, whatever issues are there, all the issues are recorded at the average cost. So here we require to calculate average cost for issue of material, and we can use a common formula for calculation of average cost in both the systems. So in case of periodic inventory system, we can use a simple formula of average cost, that is opening stock plus purchases in amounts divided by opening stock plus purchases in units. Got it? And in the case of perpetual inventory system, we can use a simple formula for determining average cost, that is total cost of inventory on hand divided by total units of inventory on hand. So dear friends, keep it in your mind, these are the two different formulas which can be used under two different inventory system. Okay, then we are going to learn the pro forma under FIFO method. So when we can record, or when we are going to record the stock of material under FIFO method, we can use a simple formula. So whatever record of issues and receipts are recorded in the register, that register popularly known as store ledger account, stock register or store register, and this is the simple format of store ledger account under FIFO method. It consists of date column, three main column like receipts, issues and balance, that is closing balance, and each main column having a three sub columns like unit, price and amount. Okay, so this is the common format we can use while recording the stock as per FIFO method. And now we are going to learn how to record store ledger under FIFO method. So dear students, for example, on 1st January 2020, company purchased 1000 unit at a rate of rupees 10. So this is called as a purchase. So we can record such transaction in the receipt column. So we can record in unit column total number of purchases 1000, the rate of purchase is 10, and total amount of purchase cost is rupees 10,000. And if there is no any sales on 1st January, so we can mention dash in the issue column, and we can write closing balance on that day as just it is carry forwarded, that is 1000 unit at the rate of 10, total amount of rupees 10,000. Okay, another example, on 3rd March 2020, company purchased 500 units of rupees 5 each. So total units of purchase is 500. We can record 500 in the receipt column as a unit, at the rate of 5. So total amount of purchase is 2500. There is no any sales on 3rd January, so we can mention dash in the issue column. And while recording closing stock, keep it in your mind, in the case of FIFO method, it is a common practice to carry forward previous day's balance into the next day. So while maintaining closing stock of 3rd January, we can use we can forward the closing balance of 1st January, that is earlier day. So 1000 at the rate of 10, total amount 10,000, as it is carry forwarded into the next day. Okay, and then current day's purchase can be mentioned over here, that is 500 units at the rate of 5, 2500. Means on 3rd January there are two types of closing stock, that is 1000 units at the rate of 10 and another is 500 units at the rate of 5. Okay, another example, that is on 5th January 2020, company sold goods of 1200 units. So in that case there is no purchase, so we can mention dash in purchase column, receipt column, and we can record whatever sales has been made by the company in issue column. So see, total sales is 1200 units, but as per FIFO method, the rule is that those material are come first in the go down are issue first. So as per FIFO method, we have a first 1000 unit at the rate of 10 and second 500 units at the rate of 5. So first of all we can issue 1000 units only, because as per the rule of FIFO method. So here we can record 1000 units at the same rate 10, that is total amount of sales 10,000. But total sales is 1200 units, so we need more 200 units. So 200 units mentioned here, and it is given out of these 500 units, which is for earlier days stock available at the rate of 5. Okay, so we can use here 200 units at the rate of 5. So total cost of sales is 1000. And when we are recording the closing stock on 5th January, so we can carry forward earlier day's balance into the next day. So the earlier date of 5th January is 3rd January. So on 3rd January there was two types of stocks, 1000 units and 500 units, but we can record here, we can issue 1000 units totally. So and we can issue 200 units from these 500 units. So after deducting 200 units from this 500 unit, we have a 300 units as a closing balance, that is carry forwarded into next day at the same rate of ₹5, and the total cost of that closing balance is 1500. Okay, another example, that is on 6th January 2020, company can purchase 2000 units at the rate of 20 each. So we can record such purchases in receipt column, that is 2000 units at the rate of 20. So total amount of purchase is 40,000, and there is no any other sales on 6th January, so we can mention dash in the column of issues. And while recording closing stock, it is a common practice to carry forward previous day's balance into the next day. So previous date of 6th January is 5th January, and on 5th January there was a closing balance of 300 unit at a rate of 5. So that is carry forwarded into the current day, that is 300 units at the rate of 5. Total amount of closing stock is 1500. Okay, and we can mention current year's purchases in the balance column, that is 2000 unit at the rate of 20, total amount 40,000. So dear friends, on 6th January we have a closing balance, two types of closing stock, that is 300 units at the rate of 5 and 2000 units at the rate of 20. Okay, and last example, that is on 7th January 2020, company sold the goods of rupees 500 units. So there is no purchase, so we can write dash in the column of receipt. And as per the FIFO method, we cannot issue directly 500 units at a time. So as per FIFO method, we have a first 300 units, then we have a 2000 units. So first of all, we can issue only 300 units. So we can write here in the column of issue 300 units at the same rate 5. So total amount of sale, that is 1500, and our total sales is 500 units, and now we have given 300. So remaining 200 units we can give from these 2000 units available with us at the rate of same, that is 20. So total amount of sales, that is 4000. And while recording closing stock on 7th January, we can carry forward earlier days balance. So earlier days means that is 6th January, there was 300 units and 2000 units, but total 100% 300 units we can use here for issue, and out of 2000 units we can use 200 units. So 2000 minus 200, we have 1800 units as a closing stock on 7th January at the rate of latest rate of 20, and we have a total value of closing stock 36,000 on that particular date, that is 7th January 2020. So dear students, this is how to record store ledger in the case of any purchases, receipts or sales, that is issues of the stock. Okay, then we are going to learn the pro forma used under weighted average cost method. So dear students, in the case of weighted average method, we can use the same type of common format. There is a date column, receipt, issues and balances are the main 3 columns, and in each main column there is a 3 sub columns, that like unit, price and amount. But there is only one change. In the case of closing balance, there is a no price column, only unit and amount column is there. This is only the difference between weighted average and FIFO method. Let's see the example. On 1st January 2020, company purchased 1000 units at the rate of 10. So we can record purchases in receipt column, that is 1000 unit at the rate of 10. So total amount of purchase is 10,000, and there is no any sales on 1st January, so we can write dash in the issue column. Okay, and we can, as it is, carry forward whatever purchases is there as a closing balance, but there is no rate column, so we can write here 1000 units and total amount of unit, that is 10,000. So keep it in your mind, in the case of FIFO method, we can carry forward earlier days balance into the next balance while we are maintaining the closing balance. But in the case of weighted average cost, there is no carry forward of balances. We can directly add or we can directly deduct the purchases and issues from the balances available respectively. Okay. So second example, that is on 3rd January 2020, company can purchase 500 units at the rate of 5. So we can record in the receipt column 500 units at the rate of 5. Total amount of purchase is 2500. There is no any other sales on 3rd January, so we can write dash in the issue column. Okay, and it is a common practice in case of weighted average cost method, that is, it is closing balance is to be determined directly by adding current day's balance into the earlier day's balance. So we can add current day's unit into the earlier day's unit, that is 1000 plus 500. So total closing unit is 1500 units, and total value, that is 10,000 plus 2500, we have a 12,500 as a cost of closing stock. Okay. And last example, that is on 4th January 2020, company sold 500 units. So we can write in the issue column, because there is no receipt on 4th January. So we can write dash in the receipt column, and we can write in issue column as a total 500 units. So dear friends, remember, in the case of FIFO method, we can issue the goods as per the rule of FIFO on first come first out basis. But in the case of weighted average method, whatever sales is there, we can record all the units in the unit column, but we can find out here only average cost for issue of material or goods. So we can use a common formula for determining average cost, that is total cost divided by total units. So the records from earlier day can be used for finding out average cost. So in earlier days, total cost is 12,500 and total units is 1,500. So we can find out average cost as 12,500 divided by 1,500 units, and we'll get average cost of 8.33. And this average cost is to be used while issuing the material. So we can issue 500 unit at average cost of 8.33. So total cost of sales is 4,165. And while keeping the record of closing stock, we can directly deduct the actual sales from the closing stock, that is 1,500 minus 500, we have 1,000 closing stock on 4th January. And same also we can deduct 4,165 as a cost of sales from the balance available, that is 12,500, and we'll get the closing stock on 4th January, that is 8,350. So dear friend, see, this is how we can record receipts and issue in the store ledger under weighted average cost method. So dear students, now we have been learned here the difference between perpetual inventory and periodic inventory system. Also we have been studied about how inventory is valued in different method like FIFO method and weighted average method. So if you are having any difficulties, you can ask or comment.